We also do research. We've done some research on social and emotional learning. We have a few research scientists who have done and published studies on it.
Outstanding. Well, hello, Lynn, and hello, Ancila. I hope I said that correct.
Hello, it's Ansela.
Ancila. Excellent.
And you said Lynn correctly.
Amen. For the little things, let me add you in. Ancila, as you can see, some of us have changed our names. So if you want to add your first and last name and where you're calling in from, Michelle, you can do the same. Alvarez Norenberg, you can also do the same. So I am going to begin. Wait, I guess it's 11:58. I have 2 minutes. I am actually going to begin because I really want to end on time. So we are live on Facebook. We are recording. So please know that. And welcome to all of you. Here we go. My name is John Chen. I'm the CEO of Geoteaming. You are here now in virtual team building, and you are in a course which is quite unique, and I hopefully will help you with this new environment that you're in. Some of the things that I saw here, and first off, I got to tell you about these captions up top. This is actually, you need to think about, for those of us who do a lot of diversity and inclusion work, you now have to think about a new layer about different levels. You can see some people have audio, some people have chat, some people have video, right? And some people don't. And so you need to really think about how to include people. And someone showed me this feature where PowerPoint has a feature that you can put captions. And you can see that when I have these slides up, the captioning is actually pretty close to accurate. So this is another feature that you can try to help your online audiences. So things that people came with is that working, with their teammates. We had some people who are very new to being online, keeping teams engaged, keeping people connected, learning more team activities, wrangling webcams and taking screen names was what somebody put. And somebody said, I just started working virtually 2 weeks ago. So these are all the different pieces here. And especially now, you really, I think, need to think about it for the long haul. We already know that we're going to be here at least till April 30th, and it's very possible that it could be longer. So the more that you invest in these skills now, I think it's the more that it's going to pay off as you go along. So thank you so much for attending virtual team building, and I'm getting glad to get a chance to meet each of you as well as help each of your teamwork. Okay, let us continue. If you do get a chance, go ahead and mute. Otherwise, I'll run around the bend here, and I'm going to mute some other people. So while you're presenting, one of the nice parts is while the presenter's up is to mute so that you don't hear the other noise. And that's one of the challenges with Teams. So let me go through some of the basic challenges with Teams. Some of them I'm going to tell you about were challenges that Teams had before this all happened, right, pre-corona. And some of these things are going to continue to happen. They're just going to show up maybe in different ways or get exasperated by the fact that we're having to work virtually. So I think that's why all of you are here, and I'm going to give you some ideas and tips about how to handle those challenges. But let's make sure we know what those challenges are. The first one is this. Only 5.9% of companies communicate their goals daily. I'll say that again, 5.9%. The first tip I can give you is that if you're a leader in your company, number one, you've had the world's biggest disruption, and the goals that you had pre-corona may not be the same goals that you have post-corona. So going back and resetting on those goals, as well as communicating them, is a great idea. The tip I give here is, you want to be one of the top managers here, just send your goals that your team is working on every day and some of the progress. And that will be a great boon to your team. They'll find that communication very, very helpful. The next one is collaboration. So 39% of the surveyed employees believe that people in their own organization don't collaborate enough. And this was when they used to be in the office. So I used to work at Microsoft for 10 years, and I shipped some big products. And one of the original buildings was built in the shape of an X. And they put the bathrooms and the copy room and the receptionists and a bunch of other stuff right in the center of the X. And why this was important is because people would have to get out of their office, even though Microsoft at the time was a very big email culture, and they would bump into each other's in the center of the X. we no longer have this physical bumping into each other. So we need to figure out how to do it online. And it's very easy, if you did not want to talk, to disappear and not be found in this virtual world. So that's the piece about collaboration. I will tell you this other part about collaboration I'm discovering, though, is here's the quote: delivery is the biggest barrier to collaboration. So I'll say it again. Delivery is the biggest barrier to collaboration. And what I mean by that is I have more people now calling me and asking me to collaborate because they have the time. Before, they were too busy selling to customers, writing invoices, la-di-da. But now they're like, your calendar is swept away. And so now's a really interesting time to collaborate. And if you have that opportunity, you should try and gain advantage for it. This is a time where strategic projects could never get done, might now be done if you look at your collaboration. The next one is alignment. 97% of employees and executives believe that a lack of alignment within a team impacts the outcome of a task or a project. This is totally right. And the thing about I see in virtual teams, all the team members think they're aligned. They might be all going for the goal, but they're all going about it at different ways. And I hope to give you just like a small example of that. That might be a metaphor for what's happening in your company. So now is, again, a time to realign your team and ensure that they're all on the same page. I bet if you asked every single teammate right now what their primary goal is, you might be surprised what you hear. So again, alignment is one of the keys. And you're going to love this. You're the first people to see this new slide, but you probably saw it somewhere else. The Zoom meeting attention span problem, right? You know, we're all working from home now. And whether you're on Zoom or Microsoft Teams or whatever your platform is, I love this, right? Removal of cat from keyboard. Maybe if I move the camera higher. Well, oh my God, why didn't I take a shower? So, and I love this one. Relief of seeing other human beings, 23%. But the reality is that virtual teams is a real challenge. We're having to adapt to a new environment, and it's disorienting. And especially, it's like, I've been practicing for 20 plus years. Some people just got on last week. Some people just probably got on today. And so that's what you have to deal with as a leader. And hopefully some of these ways will help with that disorientation and reorient them so they can be effective. So my solution is a word that I kind of felt like, especially after I had 10 face-to-face programs got canceled. So I had a good amount of revenue pushed off or postponed or canceled. And this is how I felt. This solution is called GRR, right? GRR. So GRRR. And so there are 4 easy things to think about while you're thinking about your virtual teams. The number one is goals. What we talked about in alignment. Now is the time to double check what your team's goals are. Make sure you're aligned, communicate it, right? Make sure that people aren't miscommunicating about it. And that, most importantly, that you know what you're looking to achieve. So G is for goals. The next one is R. R is for rules. So we all know the rules for face-to-face meetings. We grew up and we're maybe 30 to 50 years or more experienced in meeting face-to-face, but meeting online, there's a whole new set of rules. So as you can see, I had to mute some people, and people forget they have a sidebar conversation, right? Like I get a phone call or I get food delivered to me and it comes in, and now everybody heard it. The sidebar conversations work because the auditory is only heard by one person. But here in Zoom land, if I say something, it goes to everybody. And so we need a new set of rules to really help manage that chaos. The next one is rhythm. Again, we've had the largest disruption of work rhythm possible. And that rhythm is really important. As you can see here, this is a Japanese drill team. And when they get their rhythm right, right there, that's amazing. Seeing them inside of that formation, that's a team that's in rhythm. They know where they're at. They know what's going on. If you want to be a leader, and you now, no matter what level that you're at, you have the possibility to be a leader if you can bring the structure and rhythm to the online teams that you have now. I would take this opportunity, if I was working for a corporate company, is to display leadership in a time of chaos. And one of the ways is to create team rhythm. The last one is results. I am a big car fan. Donna knows this, right? Last year I got ownership of a Porsche Boxster. That is the funnest car I've ever driven. And so, I'm a big fan of the F1 series on Netflix. And this is what happens when you have those 3 things. When you have goals and you have rules and you have rhythm, you get this, you get results. You get 20 people who can change 4 tires, gas up a car, and do lots of other maintenance all in under 2 seconds. I don't know what business you're in, but these are the kind of results that you need to look for from your online virtual teams now, and celebrate these successes. Share those stories. For those who studied a practice called appreciative inquiry, if you celebrate your stories, it's very easily you can increase your team productivity from 10 to 100%. So results. So I'm going to believe that the goal for this meeting is that to teach you how to host a productive team meeting and establish the best team practices online. If you have some other goals, I welcome that you share them, because now I'm going to teach you your first team building initiative. So again, this is called Go Ahead Caller, and this is a little bit like air traffic control. So I've heard stories of people getting on their first family Zoom call or maybe work call, and that everybody's talking at the same time, and that 2 people talk at the same time, and you know you can't hear either one of them, and it really is a big waste of time. So Go Ahead Caller is, this comes from my basis of, I had a dream one time to be a radio DJ, and so somebody might call in like, let's see, I got to see my list here. Oh yeah, Chris from Wisconsin, if I believe that's correct, calls in. Did I get that city right? I'll find out in just a second. All right, so Chris calls in, and she goes, "Hi, John, this is Chris," and I say, "Oh, okay, Chris, go ahead." So it's a way for me to direct traffic. So we're going to establish some rules here, and the rules for this are, if you're visual, you can raise your hand. If you're not, you can chat me in the window, or you can unmute and say your name. There's also a raise hand feature on there too. I can also see that, and that's another way that you can do that. So if 2 or more people go, I'm going to acknowledge all of you, and then I'll establish some kind of order. What we're going to do is introduce each other. So I think if tell me your name and where you're calling from, and then the last piece is, what's an example of a team challenge that you're having? So for instance, I could say, my name is John Chen, I'm from Seattle, Washington, and the team challenge I'm having is that all of my team members feel really disconnected. Okay, so now we do that, I'm going to stop share. And we're going to see all these amazing people. Again, if you have a camera, if you can, please turn it on. It is a big help. Jessica, I love the ears. We just came from Disney World, and hopefully I didn't get infected. I'm more than 14 days quarantine, but I love the ears. So actually, Jessica, do you mind if I call on you?
Sure. Hi, I'm Jessica. I've just been using a lot of my kids' props for meetings just to bring a little smile to people's faces. And, you know, I'm kind of a goofball in the office. And so this is my contribution to being a goofball remotely. But I actually work with Chris, and we're both based out of Madison, Wisconsin, and just living the remote life right now.
What's your challenge in the remote life?
Challenge. Okay, I think it's just a matter of you know, reevaluating some of our tasks that have now been put on hold due to the COVID outbreak. So it's just reprioritizing what is now put on the back burner and what needs to be handled ASAP. So a lot of documentation that was missing has come front and center, kind of like business continuity planning and, you know, stuff that we were not prepared for. So.
Perfect. Thank you, Jessica. And like I said, that can be an opportunity, especially if you have an agenda or something you want to get done. You know, this not very strategic, but not very important thing sometimes can now be done. So I appreciate that, Jessica. Thank you so much. Now, if you'd like to go next, again, either raise your hand or unmute and chat, or unmute and say your name. Let's go to Michelle in Portland, Oregon. Go ahead, Michelle.
Good afternoon, everybody. I'm Michelle Bagley. I work in higher education and I work in libraries. And so I think the biggest challenge for us right now is the fact that our work is very much focused on a physical space with physical items. And I have a work team that is all remote. And so trying to get people to think creatively about work that they can do that is strategic, and also, you know, keeping people engaged is, I think, my biggest challenge at work right now.
Keeping people engaged. And by the way, thank you, Michelle. Like, you're one of the many libraries. I got posted by Jennifer Clifton on the journal, libraryjournal.com. And my registrations exploded by like 50%. So, and the challenge is yeah, you're used to having physical books, and now you're thinking about how can I help people with the library resources, but do it virtually. Thank you so much, Michelle. Who'd like to go next?
Hi, this is Lee. Oh, shoot my hand up there. Oh, sorry, Donna, I jumped in on you.
Let's go to Lee and then to Donna. Go ahead, Lee.
Great, yeah. Director of the San Antonio College Academic Library. And yeah, I push this to a lot of my library folks too, friends, colleagues. San Antonio, Texas also. The big thing I'm working on with my staff, and a few of them are on today and they're just gonna find this out, is I forgot the name of the person who just spoke. Was it
Michelle?
Michelle. Yeah, I've been thinking about that a lot, and I consider us digital first. I think libraries went digital first a long time ago, and we're just having a hard time accepting that model. But I think we're digital first. We've been that way for a long time, and so I haven't made this pronouncement yet to my staff, but we've shifted to a digital first model. This has been an awesome opportunity for us. And so when we return to campus, that's how we will deliver our services and think about how we're moving into the future, is that we're digital first. So doing a lot of upskilling with the staff right now, getting them comfortable in technology. So using Slack, Zoom, and then we have a huge amount of library technologies that we use, and SpringShare is a big provider of that for us. But the challenge is a lot of the folks kind of, they feel a little overwhelmed with all this stuff. But the reality is like the future isn't coming, it's here. And so getting them comfortable in that environment is, I think, going well, but I'm looking for stuff like this to help accelerate their use of these tools.
Perfect. Thank you so much, Lee. I love that you said digital first. This is a piece of your San Antonio library culture that you can move online here as to do that. And I hopefully give you a few more examples. We had a grad call in from Mexico that's running the GE power plants in Mexico. And he's saying, my teams aren't having problems now, but I think 30 days down the road, I can see that we're going to have problems. Michelle's shaking her head. Yes. So thank you so much. Who'd like to go next? Let's go to Donna and then Maurizio. Go ahead, Donna. I already called you. Oh, you're unmuted.
Unmute. Okay. Hi, I'm Donna Cunningham, and I work at Seattle Genetics, and we do cancer trials. Working on getting drugs approved for cancer patients. And we had a little bit of experience during Snowmageddon, which was 2 years ago, where we were doing all of our meetings virtually, and we got pretty good at that. But right now, we're in our 5th week of being at home and talking to people, and now it's seeing their faces and people I used to walk with or go to lunch with, that they're feeling the isolation and it's getting to them. So that's the challenge right now, is checking in on people and making sure that they're okay and what do they need. So I might be doing a virtual walk with somebody, or a Zoom walk around the block.
Oh, you might be the first to do a Zoom walk. I might have to put that down there. Thank you so much, Donna. I appreciate that. Donna's had a chance to see some of my other work, and Seattle Genetics does the good work. And one thing here that's happening in Seattle is the first articles are coming out. We moved from #1 in confirmed cases to #7. So what we're doing, we might actually see is actually working. It's the best news that we've heard in a long time. Thank you so much, Donna. Let's go to Mauricio.
Hi, everybody. My name is Mauricio Quevedo. I am from El Salvador. I'm calling from El Salvador. We have been working remotely because we offer developers to the US market from Latin America. So we have been a little bit related to this topic. However, I am quite interested in wondering how the cultural differences might affect the team building. Probably the Latino style and the American style probably can be a little bit different. So I'm really curious about how to deal with such cultures, and to then more specifically, maybe a question for you. Chen, will be what happened when you have one member of the team who doesn't want to follow the rules. Okay, let's say he doesn't want to open the camera, and he's in there, but you're not sure if he's actually, yeah, the mind is in there, right? It's just like a presence over there, like a ghost. That will be. And thanks.
Thank you, Mauricio. I put a reference for you in the chat line. There's an organization here in Seattle called ediorg.org, and it really helps with leaders getting into executive positions, specifically of Asian and Hispanic cultures. And so it can acknowledge, the Hispanic culture and how it might be able to adapt online. The second piece that you have here too is helping with no cameras. Watch over the next 60 minutes the difference of how much you feel connected to the people you can see versus yet you can't see. Like I said, I saw Michelle shaking her head. That means I know that she's listening, she's engaged, right? And that she's acknowledging. The people on the camera, I can't tell what's happening, right? Their dog can be running, their kids could be coming through. Like, there's all sorts of different things going on. And so without that camera there, they put themselves at a big disadvantage. But you as a leader, they put you as a leader at a big disadvantage too. Outstanding. Let's see who'd like to go next. This is a great party. We got a good party here. Let's go to Lynn and then Stanley. Go ahead.
My name's Lynn Redmond, and I'm calling in from Halifax, Nova Scotia, which is north of Maine in Canada. I, 3 weeks ago, just started working with a company that worked remotely, and I hadn't previously. So I was jumping into remote work anyway, despite what's going on in the world. And I guess, I don't have a problem communicating with them, or they don't have a problem communicating with me, rather, because they're so used to doing it. So I guess my problems are more about me and how I fit into that, rather than about how I get my team to do it, because they're already doing it. So mostly, like, one of the things I'm noticing, like Slack and Zoom help, obviously, but being in a room with people and having a quick question, you ask it, you're done, you know your information, you move on. So it's just sort of figuring out how to insert those small interactions that can keep you moving forward, in a way that, because even if I do it on Slack, it might be a while before I get my answer. So how do I, like, sort of hold my teammates accountable for giving me the information I need, but also feel like I'm not interrupting them, or know when the right time to reach out to them is, where if I could see them and I could see that they were just stopping for a drink of coffee, I could just throw my question at them.
Right. Yeah, so you have to look for different ways that you can bump into each other. Also, this email that I talked about at the beginning of the day, just you can show progress. These are our goals. These are the things that happened yesterday. And if you repeatedly see no progress from somebody, that's a good signal to figure out what's going on with that person. Lynn is calling in from Vivo Teams, and a Vivo team has an incredible assessment that shows you the dollar cost of lost productivity to do the things like miscommunication and mistrust. So check out Vivo Teams when you get a chance. Right, Lynn?
Yes.
Yeah,
John probably knows more about Vivo Team at this point than I do, since I'm new, but he's right.
Okay. Excellent. Thank you, Lynn. Let's go to Stanley. Stanley, you have to unmute. No pressure. There he is.
Hi, I'm Stan Wong. I'm from the OC Public Library System here in Orange County, California. We're a 32 library system. A few weeks ago, we went into telecommunicating mode. I think this is the first time ever, so it's a lot of growing pains for all of us. I think a lot of the problem for us is we have quite a few older workers who, this is a brave new world for them. So I have a team, and I have one member who calls me daily because she doesn't know how to do quite simple things. And so I think, they get discouraged because they feel like, they can't do their normal work. And how do they fit in with this new kind of work ecosystem? They feel like there's a lack of motivation, lack of confidence, kind of, I'm used to dealing with the public. What do I do now when, I don't know when I can do that again? So I think just a lot of uncertainty mixed in with, they're having all these new platforms thrown at them, all these new processes. It's just kind of a general sense of being overwhelmed.
Wow. Yeah, Stanley, the older workers, and specifically, it doesn't matter what age it is, it's kind of your digital age, which is how many years have you been used to doing this and feel comfortable? As you can tell, I've been practicing for 20 years. This is how I can do some of this. But for those new people, it's like you traveled to freaking Mars, right?
Right.
And then like, now go work on Mars, you know? So that's great, Stanley. Hopefully we can find a way to help them. And it's hard to not be frustrated. You really got to like breathe deep and just be patient with some people. But I will tell you this, Stanley, you can find ways to do this. Like if you teach them Zoom and they can talk face to face to their clients and they have that personality, they will light up because they're doing the thing that they came here to do with you. They help people. And as soon as they figure that out, they're going to love their job again. Who would like to go next? Again, remember you're on mute. If you want to talk, oh, there we go. Let's see. You can raise your hand or you can unmute and say your name. Let's go to, let's see. Avars, right? Did I say that right?
Ivors, yeah.
Ah, so close. Go ahead.
Very close. I'm Ivors Norenbergs. I work at San Antonio College in San Antonio, Texas. And Mr. Lee LeBlanc is my major supervisor. He's library director, and I do everything he tells me to.
You get a raise.
That's a compliment. That's a compliment. Yeah, it's like icebreaker here. The digital age and working remotely has put us on a different level. I don't know what level that is, but it's a different level for sure. And I'm in charge of the student employees in the library. So we all think, and I think also that our work studies is a great asset to every library task there is and will be in the future. So I don't want to lose it while we are kind of like separated physically. So I keep in touch with all of them. We also have a library mentor program. So library mentors call them, email them, try to stay in touch with them because we want to keep them together as part of the library team, library family, because when we go back, we would like to continue uninterrupted without any setbacks. And that's a major problem that we are encountering to maintain that contact besides everything else. Any other project that might come up. Yeah.
Thank you, Ivars. I just love that you guys have a library mentor program. That sounds like that mentoring is that connection that people want. So that's a really key factor for that. Thank you, Ivars. Who likes to go next? Let's go to Kathy. Kathy, how are you?
I'm good, John. Everybody, hi. Sorry I'm late. I was on another call. I don't know what the question exactly was, but I can tell by some of the answers, maybe what we're doing to work remotely and how we're changing our way of working. Am I on the right track?
Yeah, your name, your location, which I already gave you. Kathy's calling from Portland, Oregon, and the team challenge that you're having now, you know, working with others, or because we're talking about virtual team building.
Oh, gotcha. Okay, team challenge that I've been having. Well, I mostly do TED Talk coaching training. I do them in corporations. So of course, a lot of all of that kind of went away when everybody moved home. So now I personally had the challenge. I've been doing a lot of trainings that are like an hour, and those ones are pretty easy, but I'm getting ready to do a storytelling training for a big company here in Portland. It's going to be 4 hours long, and it's going to be really hard. Like it takes so much to replicate things that you can easily do when you're live, and the energy that you can easily feel when you're live, and just even having people sitting in chairs like in front of their screens is tough. But I think I heard you when I came on, John. I heard some of the things I've been trying to do is do engaging type things, having people raise their hand, engage with them, write things down. I did a one-word thing with Hong Kong University where I said, hey, there was a marketing class, and I said, hey, if we were going to do a marketing campaign to end this whole thing, what would it be? Just write down one word, and on the count of 3, everybody hold it up. So that's kind of fun. So I don't know. I've just been like trying to pay attention to things that are creative and will engage people to stay connected.
Thank you so much, Kathy.
Yeah.
And as a a result of like there's sometimes silver linings for really bad things, and I have a shot possibly to rewrite this book. And so if you have a piece of paper and a large Sharpie marker, keep it around, and I'll show you the short version of Kathy's initiative. It's really amazing. Kathy and I have been friends for a long time, and if you ever get asked to do a TED Talk, you need to talk to Kathy. She's one of the best. All right, let's see who'd like to go next. You can pay me for the plug later. Chris, go ahead.
Thank you. My name is Chris. My pronouns are they, them, and theirs. I live in Madison. I work for a nonprofit that does education research. My team, I'm on the administration and operations team, but our team is also connected with finance. And our team has never worked remotely before. Our organization is set up for staff to work remotely. We have about a dozen staff who do, but our team doesn't. And I can tell that because we're all separated, it's difficult for us to stay engaged and connected. So sort of with what Kathy and Donna were saying, I'm interested in helping our team stay engaged and connected. I'm curious about any team building activities that you have that I can bring back and just sort of get my gears turning in my head about just ways to support engagement within my team. Thanks.
Thank you so much, Chris. Engagement is really the key because like on default, Chris says, she said webinar at the beginning. Let me just tell you, this is no ordinary webinar. As you can see, I turn over control. It's a very great theory we have in experiential education, which is called let the inmates run the asylum. Now, what I mean by that is you really want to give control back over as much. You want to be engaged. You have to engage other people. If Chris starts to nod off and I call her, right, or she's out of frame, she's like, whoa, I got to go, whoa, what do you want, John? What, And so that ability to be able to not know that when somebody's going to call you and that you be engaged, that you really focus on this. And you're also here trying to listen to other people. I mean, this is something that we've been taught in terms of that engagement. And so you want to look for all those natural things and that are slightly different but work in virtual. Thank you so much for this, Chris. And Chris, you are the first to use they, them as your pronoun inside of your name. Thank you for that. I appreciate that. Who else would like to go? If you haven't gone, it's time for you to raise your hand or say your name. There we go. Hi, Karen. Let's see. Karen and then Andrew. Let's go to Karen first.
Okay. So hi, John. I'm Karen Breer. I'm also at San Antonio College in San Antonio, Texas. And I take my marching orders from Mr. Lee LeBlanc as well. So I'm hearing a recurring theme from everybody's discussion and problems is engagement and just making sure that all of our employees feel like they are still a part of our group. They're not seeing each other every day. They're not working together one-on-one every day. So trying to make sure to keep those connections. They're used to interacting with students on a desk and interacting with patrons. And I'm sure they're missing that. Yep. They get tired of interacting with just their peers and not the public. So kind of like what Stanley was saying, Stanley Wang was mentioning, having difficulty with navigating all these new platforms as well. Learning something new every day. One day we're looking at Zoom, and the next day we're learning Slack, and the next day we're learning Skype, and the next day we're learning something new. And
do one at a time. Holy cow!
I know. So we've been working on this for a couple of weeks, but it's been a real challenge for some of our employees, and we're getting there. But it's been a challenge.
Thank you, Karen. And moving on to Andrew, who is also with San Antonio. Lee, this was smart. You brought your team here. I just want to let you know that.
I am also from San Antonio. I'm a director of library services for St. Philip's College, which is the sister college to San Antonio College. And Leah is actually the one that forwarded me over here as well. So one of the things that I'm trying to get more to figure out is how to communicate not only with team members, but team members that have a different schedule. So we have the usual 8 to 5, but then we also have team members that work 5 to 8 o'clock at night. And so making sure the message is heard not only from the normal daytime team members, but also the night team members who work extra hours, who are also part-time and have may not be able to easily attend team meetings that we have during the day or communicate as easily with some of my team members during the day. So.
Perfect. Thank you, Andrew. I have the possibility of working on a 200-person conference that's going to be 24/7, has to talk to the 200 people that are around the world. It's a real challenge, but I got really, Kathy and I have great friends in Taiwan and Hong Kong and Australia. And, you know, there are ways like, you know, my 4 o'clock is like their 8 a.m. And so if you find those thin windows, there's a date time meeting planner that will help you find those windows and look for the bridge. You know, you stretch, like you stay on an extra hour on a certain day so that you can talk to them face to face at the beginning of their shift. Those are the types of things that say, I'm getting, at least now I can communicate my needs in a different way than just sending emails. So look for that, Andrew. I'm going to move along here. So we have a lot of people today, which is great. Let's go to Marita in Federal Way.
Hello.
Oh, your audio is very light. Go ahead, try again.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah, good. Can you hear me now? Good. Go ahead, Marita.
Hi, my name is Marita Parnell, and I work for Community Health Plan of Washington in Seattle, Washington. And my biggest challenge is with my team is that they're just all having cabin fever. They, a couple of them have never worked from home before, and they now have to. They're also a very, they work in close coordination with each other. And so they are used to being in the office together and they can't do it anymore. And so that's the biggest challenge for them is they miss each other.
I miss them too. Oh, I don't even know them yet. But no, yeah, I know what you're talking about, right? Well, we miss a lot of things right now.
Yeah.
What did my friend actually, we got a chance to get funnel cake in Disney World, Jessica. And that was the picture he posted is going, man, I wish I could just go out and get funnel cake with my friends right now. So thank you for that, Marita. You know, a lot of teams are sending gifts. The other one too is send a gift card all to the same restaurant, have them all order the same food and try and get it delivered at the same time, and then sit down and have lunch and reconnect. Right. And so it's a great way for a company to show that they care. All the libraries here too, by the way, thank you for keeping your people employed. It's very easy that you could furlough and lay off. So the fact that you are trying to keep them employed is a big deal. Let's go to Simon Priest. Simon, are you there? Maybe. Let's see if Simon's audio is working. His internet was slow the last time I talked to him. All right, Simon, you can get ready. Let's go along. Marie, did I talk to Marie yet? No, Marie. No, Marie, are you there? Okay, we're gonna check in. Let's see. I got Lee. I got Jessica. Oh yeah, who's that? Is that Maria?
Sorry. Hi, this is Maria. Sorry, my audio is not working, so you guys cannot see me. But hi, everyone. I'm the same as Marita Parnell. I work at Community Health Plan of Washington here in Seattle, Washington. My biggest challenge right now that we are having, my team, I work in finance department, is we're not used to working remotely. We're always, you know, the group is always, you know, go to the office, we do our meeting in the office, we do our one-on-one on the office. So it's kind of a little bit harder now how to, you know, set up a meeting via, you know, just online, but we do check in every day. So it's just getting used to it, you know, working from home. So that's the only biggest challenge that we have.
Perfect. Thank you, Maria. Emily or Marie, if you're on, go ahead and unmute. I know Emily, I believe, has spoken.
Hi, this is Marie. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can. Go ahead, Marie.
Okay, so this is Marie from Seattle. I work for Community Health Plan of Washington. I work in the finance department. And yeah, I think I'm in the same line as everyone else. It's like it's all about engagement. So trying to check in with my team, you know, at least twice a week or 3 or 4 times, you know, a week. And it's a challenge because this is new to some folks. So they don't really know how to, so we do conference call, but we can't see their face. So this is great. Like we can see, like you mentioned, you know, their reaction, their facial expression. So that's kind of nice, like being in the room, you know, seeing each other, but can't touch or feel anything, you know. So, but still, it helps to see their reaction and how they're doing.
Thank you so much, Maria. And FYI, you have something over your camera lens. So if you think your camera's on, we can't see you.
Oh, okay.
And if you don't want to be seen, that's okay too. But just let you know. Emily, Emily, are you still there? Okay. Well, I think we got a chance to check in with everybody. And if you guys do get a chance to unmute or hit me in the chat line, just let me know. Oh, I see. Simon's going to observe today. So just so you know that. Okay, great. So let's go ahead and move on. So you see, one of the things, even just checking in is really important. But you also can see, thank you, Marie, we can see you, is that checking in is really important. You know, a lot of your teams feel disconnected, and even something as small as this is giving people the opportunity to just give a small check-in, really understands what's happening in each person's world. So let's go ahead and continue on here. So that's go ahead caller. And as you can see with that, you can take we have a lot of people here. We can still manage the conversation. It's still very watchable. Now, another way to accelerate is that I'm going to show you the back channel chat. So hopefully you can find the chat window. So if you have a computer, you go down to the bottom right and you will hit the chat. And you can see some people are already chatting. Thank you, Kathy Simon, Lee, Stanley. So show people the chat window. And I got to tell you, whenever I get on some kind of webinar or somebody else's call, I start hitting the chat window immediately because number one, that's what engages me. And number two is you can do some great networking. And quite often I find the coolest people are not the speakers, right? It's the other people that are in the meeting that I want to get to know that person and that person. So encourage them to use it when others are speaking. And it also helps people like me, we're extroverts. We get our ideas out without interrupting. So we have an immediate thought or immediate question or a resource, we put it in there. But the chat window can also help introverts. So introverts get the ideas like after listening. So you're consuming all this information and all of a sudden, right, you coalesce something into this great idea. An introvert can do it here, hit it in the chat room and not interrupt the speaker that's going on. The back channel chat is one great place for creativity and engagement. So with that chat window, what I'd like you to do, let's do a little bit of networking here. I would like you to chat your LinkedIn profile or your company URL. If you don't want to chat either of those, then chat something that is interesting. So I'm going and chatting you my LinkedIn profile at linkedin.com/in/CEO John Chen. Oops. Oh, and I only sent it to Kathy. So this is also something you need to know, which is like if you start a private chat with somebody, by default, it leaves to that person. You have to re-click the menu and click everyone and then resend. There we go. So let's see. We have Jessica and myself. Me. Oh, we have Lynn. Thank you. And Kathy and Michelle. And Stanley and Mauricio. And the chat window now is fast and furious. Lee and Andrew. Oh, Lynn, Kathy, Michelle, Stanley, Kathy, Mauricio, Lee. Have I missed anyone? Mauricio. Andrew, I got you. Marita, Donna, Stanley. Marita. Stanley. Okay, I got you. Marita, Donna. Excellent. Donna, Stanley, Chris. Chris, you're going to love what I'm doing on the side here. I'll tell you what it is later. Karen. Marie. So I know we have a Marie and a Marita and a Maria. Wow, I got them all. Did I lose track? Chris, Karen, Marie, Simon. Thank you, Simon. Simon. So Simon can chat. So I don't know. You're going to have to ask him if he's going to participate in this next thing or not. And Emily. Emily, A, B, C, D, E, Emily. Okay. Ivars, did you chat already? can you chat something? You might have gone earlier. I didn't see it. And Maria Catapon, did you chat something yet?
I'm doing it right now.
Oh, thank you, Maria. Okay, good. This person is not here. Let's see, Omas, that's not in this call. We don't have Rhonda. Something happened here. Simon, and I don't think Victor's here. And you see, oh, she dropped out. Okay, great. Is there anybody who hasn't chatted yet? Okay, I believe I have everyone. Okay, so great. So that's now you have the back channel chat and you have a chance to see how that works. And so again, this is a great practice to establish right up front. And this is one of the things that if you establish, your team will get this and then start using it like without you having to say anything. That's what's great. Okay, so we're gonna try something for the first time, which is I'm excited to do. I had this ready for you. So I'm going to teach you a team building initiative, but you're going to be broken into 2 smaller groups. All I know is Kathy is going to be in one group, Kathy Armias, and I will be in the second group. So your assignment is to chat A to Z, 1 letter at a time. So you cannot go A, B, C, D, F, I, right, and go to Z and try and hit return. You cannot do that. You have to do it. Each person has to put 1 letter at a time. You cannot chat twice in a row. So if Michelle does it, right, then Michelle can't go again. She has to wait for someone else, such as Mauricio. While you're chatting between A and Z, you cannot talk, right? So as soon as somebody hits A and goes B and C, you cannot talk during that time. But if you missed a letter or repeated a letter or you finish the assignment, then you can talk. So you can talk again until somebody chats A to begin with. So first off, you can unmute. And first, do you have any clarifying questions for the assignment?
Can I just repeat it back?
Go ahead, Lynn.
You're asking us in 2 separate groups to create a sentence from the letters for each word beginning with A, B, C to Z. Well, I say Z, to Z. Is that the assignment?
I think I heard you say create a sentence. No, that's not correct. It's an individual letter. So like, for instance, Lynn, if you chatted A, somebody else has to chat B, somebody else has to chat C. Does that make sense?
Oh, okay. That's way easier.
Hey, people, it's coronavirus time. I'm not trying to make it that hard. Okay, other questions, other clarifying questions? Okay, great. So I'm going to send you to breakout rooms. You guys can hit me on the chat, and I can also switch from breakout room to breakout room, so in case you need help. But if you have any questions, put them over chat, and we'll have to actually see if this works, because hopefully it opens 2 chat rooms, but we're going to test this out. Okay, so I'm going to break you now into 2 rooms automatically. Oh, I got to do manually because Kathy has to be in one. Oh, wait, you know what? I'm going to do it automatically, so I'm just going to figure out where Kathy is at. Kathy, as soon as you get into the room, tell me which room that you got into, whether it's 1 or 2. Options, move breakout rooms. Okay. 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 I think this is right. Oh, no. Hold on. Delete. Okay. Open all rooms. Did that work? Oh, come on. Oh, I'm trying to automatically assign. Recreate. Oh, automatically. Okay, here we go. People are going to rooms. And here is he. Oh, I got to find Kathy. Kathy, you're going to go to room 1. I'll be in room 2. See you later.
See you later.
Cool. I'm in breakout room 2. This worked. Okay, again, open your chat window. Let's see if this works. So again, you can unmute and ask me any questions. Otherwise, let's see if you can chat. So does anybody have any questions? Can anybody hear me? Oh, here we go. Okay, I believe this is our room. Yeah. Okay, we got 2Ds. And I'm trying to see if Jessica and Marie, yeah, you guys are in the same room. That's good. So you need to restart. Okay. Okay, what's happening here? I see A, B, C, D, E, 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 E. I see A, B, C. I see A, B, C, D. I see A, B, C, D, E, F. Hi, Mauricio. Thank you so much for your question. No, I'm not going to input a letter. I'm here to observe. All right, JK, LMNO. We're to the letter S in our breakout room. Ooh, we lost somebody. Is this where I insert the Jeopardy music? I feel like this is like an old. Thank you, Mauricio. I felt like it was an old Western, like we were all standing there with guns, right? Waiting for everyone else to draw so you don't screw it up. FYI, we'll be a little bit over noon today just because of the number of people. So if you do need to go, you should let your teammates know. Okay, I will insert the Jeopardy music. Oh my gosh, you did it! Fantastic. I'm going to give you one piece of feedback and then I'm going to hop to the other room and see what the hell is happening over there. You are the first team to complete this without talking to each other. So Lee, you're an educator, I believe. Can you just ask this group, it's 3 easy questions, right? What happened, right? So what did that mean to them? And now what? What are you going to do different? So again, the questions are what happened? So what does that mean to you? And now what? So what, and now what? If you can elect one of your team members, not you, to come speak to the group when we're done, I'll see you guys in a few minutes. You'll see the room saying 60 seconds to breakout end. I'll see you guys in a few minutes. So go ahead and unmute. I'll be right back. Or I'll see you in the main lobby.